Hey guys, Caroline, career and leadership coach here. And today I wanted to share a story of one of my clients. And she came to me because she was sick and tired of seeing people that were less experienced, less qualified than herself jumping over ahead and getting ahead in their career. And that is so frustrating. And her story was that she was working in a company, working bloody hard. She was seen in the company as a workhorse. Like, people actually came to her for advice constantly. They really appreciated, or that's what she thought. She thought they really appreciated her work, but she never got rewarded, she never got promoted, and she could see that people that were less qualified, less experienced than her, getting the promotion, getting ahead. And she was just like, okay, what am I doing wrong here? And what's there that's not connecting? And that's the first thing, the reason I want to share this story with you, because the first step to creating change and transforming your career is awareness. And that awareness you get from self-reflection. It's like, if something is wrong, change it. Dare to change it, dare to fail, because otherwise you're just going to be stuck and keep on complaining about the fact that others are jumping ahead and over your head, and just you staying at the same place. Do something about it. And so that was basically, she reached a point that she was like, enough is enough. And I don't want to be in this situation anymore. I don't want to feel like this anymore. So, tracking back what happened, and I will tell you the story because it will resonate with a lot of you. And I want you to know that you're not alone, and you're in this with a lot of people that actually made the same sacrifices than you potentially. So, what she did is, she was a contractor at the start of last year, and she was a contractor. All of a sudden, COVID hit. And so they made the position she was in as a contractor redundant. She had another position that was less than what she was looking for. But again, like thinking like, I'm going to suck it up. I'm just going to do it and get ahead in my career. And I'm lucky to still have a job, because a lot of people are losing their job left, right, and center. And I am blessed to have an opportunity still. Now, that actually went on for a long time. And so her contract ended. And then she had a gap period. Then they re engaged her for another position. So she was tossed and turned around, and her career wasn't in her control anymore. So she didn't have any intention and direction. Now, this person was a commercial director. So it's not because like that she was in any, she had like worked bloody hard to be at the level that she wanted to be. So she sacrificed immensely. She sacrificed birthday parties. She sacrificed family life. She really was committed to her career and to her job. So for her to lose all that, first of all, she had a feeling that she lost her identity a little bit, because even though she didn't never intentionally created that attachment, but when something like that happens, your identity often is like shaken up, because you have committed so much energy into that position, into creating yourself that level of success that you think that how you define your success. And then all of a sudden you're just like put left, right, and center, and you just have no control anymore of where you want to go and what it is that you want to achieve in your career. And so basically, when she got back together and she said, like, look, the market is a little bit better. The market is moving up. I see a lot of companies hiring again. She was putting herself out. And so she was at a point that she was getting interviews, and she was going into those interviews. And what used to be a walk in the park for her, she suddenly felt that it was a struggle. And she felt that she couldn't get her words out the way she used to get them out. She didn't own the room anymore the way she used to be able to convince and engage with people that were interviewing her. And so as a result, of course, after the interview, she didn't feel that she nailed it and she did a great job. And so she got knockbacks after knockbacks. And that spiraled down, and that caused her to lose confidence in her abilities even more. And so when she came to me, the first things we did was rip everything apart. That's what we do. The best analogy that I can give you is like, imagine a box of 1,000,000 pieces of Lego. And if you have kids, you will definitely know what I'm talking about. You have a big box of 1,000,000 pieces of Lego. And if I would say to you, build me a house. You're going to build me a house with all your pieces of Lego, and it's going to be colorful, and it's going to be a little bit crooked, and you might have fun if you like playing with Lego, and you might have little helpers that help you build and say like, yay, mom or dad is finally playing with me. But it will be a very colorful experience. And you will then end up with a house that's like, oh, it's okay, but it's not like, wow, a masterpiece. Now imagine if I give you $150 and I said, like, go to the shops and get yourself a box of Lego and build me that house. You're going to build a masterpiece. And the reason why, it's because it's the same pieces of Lego, but the reason why it is that you're going to build a masterpiece is because it's categorized. It's put in little packets. You have a roadmap to say exactly what you need to do and steps that you need to take. And even if you don't see it along the way, when it's finished, you say like, wow, this looks awesome. And that's the same with your career. The people I work with, they have 15, 20, 25 years experience, and they have a lot of experience and a lot of results on their belt. And in order for us to be able to articulate their unique value proposition, to know what they really truly good at, we have to demystify everything, just like the 1,000,000 pieces of Lego. We have to see what we have, we have to categorize it, and then once we know that, we can start building it up again, and we create a masterpiece. So that was the first thing we did with her, is understanding what her unique value proposition was. What was that makes her her? Because if you don't know what makes you special, I can promise you other people won't neither. So you need to know why people should hire you, what sets you apart, and you need to know why people should promote you also, because otherwise you're not getting promoted. So all these things basically need to be in line for you. Your unique value proposition needs to be there in order for you to actually move to the second part. The second part that we did was basically we understood, okay, now we are clear about your narrative, about your unique value proposition. Let's make sure that we have a two-part strategy. Or you get promoted in your current organization, or you step outside. But the result is going to be the same. What you want is step up in responsibilities, in scope, in impact that you can make. For her, it wasn't the title or more money in essence, but it was about making a bigger impact, making a bigger difference. That's why she wanted to step up. That's why she wanted to increase her responsibilities. Because if you stay small, there's only that much that you can do. If you want to make a real difference, then you need to take on the scary jobs and often like get an understanding of how to navigate the politics and so on. Because that is when you're going to make a bigger difference, a bigger impact. So we had to work on that two-part strategy. Okay, staying in your job and really improving that executive presence and really understanding your personal brand from an internal point of view, but also working on your internal personal, your external personal brand. That is basically making sure your resume communicates exactly what it is, how you want to position yourself. Now, this analogy I make all the time. So people that have been watching me for a long time will know this, but your resume needs to be like a trailer of a movie. Now, imagine your favorite movie. Imagine the trailer that they had for that movie. So your favorite movies, maybe like 90 minutes, 2 hours, whatever. And the trailer of that movie is 90 seconds. So they had to cut down and choose the frames that they wanted to show you so that you got convinced to buy a ticket and go to watch the movie in the movies. And that's the same what I want you to do with your resume. Like you have 20 years, 15, 20 years experience, or 15 or whatever years experience. And instead of just like giving verbal diarrhea on a piece of paper and say to the other person, here it is, off you go, you can figure out what I can do, but I'm interested in your job. That's not how it works anymore. You need to have a clear narrative. You have to have a story. You need to really entice them, provoke that curiosity, like really make them excited that they say, hey, we want to see that person. That person can probably solve our problem. That's what you want to do with your resume. So instead of just giving verbal diarrhea of the 20 years that you have experience in, make it a short snapshot, enticing. Make it like a teaser, a trailer of a movie, so that they actually are convinced that they should see you. The next step, what we did was thinking about, okay, now you want to increase your visibility, both internal and external. So internal, because basically increasing your personal brand. Internal is understanding like how to work with the different stakeholders. They have made their perception of you. So if you, because she was known to be the workhorse in the organization, to step away from that personal brand of being the workhorse and going above and beyond, it's really good, but it's not always the best strategy to get ahead, because the people that are really good and being looked at as technical experts in their job are not always the people that get promoted. So you need to know how to change your personal brand. So once you are clear on your narrative, on your unique value proposition, then we have to think about, okay, what's your personal brand internally? How are we going to reposition you against stakeholders? Who are going to be advocates? Because it's not about playing the political games like a lot of people say. It's about knowing how to navigate them, knowing how to build allies in the organization, and how to use those allies to lift you up so that they can basically advocate for your promotion and endorse you for your promotion. And if that doesn't happen, then you go external, because basically you want to get ahead in your job. So your personal brand, external, that would be on your resume, your LinkedIn profile, and your cover letter. And then you actually go into the strategy part. So thinking, how can I increase my visibility external? So how can I diversify my job search strategy? Network. And the word networking is thrown around like, oh, you have to network and tap into the hidden job market. That's how you get jobs. And yes, it is. But it's one way to get jobs. And it's also the most difficult way to, if you do it the wrong way, if you don't have that roadmap. Think about the Lego example that I gave in the beginning, that things are easy when you have step-by-step instructions what to do. Like if you don't have those instructions, you go all over the place. You're like a ping pong ball, boom, 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 going everywhere. And that's basically what you do if you do networking without a strategy. Like imagine if you network with a wrong narrative, with a wrong unique value proposition, you haven't positioned yourself wrongly, all the work you're doing with networking is going to be fruitless. It's going to go nowhere. So what you want to do with networking is actually make sure you don't collect connections. Like I always say LinkedIn connections, because that's an analogy that people know. It's like you don't want to just connect LinkedIn connections. You want to connect with people, build a relationship, and convert that relationships into people that advocate for you, that people that refer you for jobs. And it's that process that you need to master in order to get benefit from your network, to know how to engage with them. And we all know that. So don't say like, okay, it is easy to say, it's not easy to execute, because we all know like, okay, how do you do stakeholder management in your job? How do you really go above and beyond in your job? And how do you really build those relationships, those connections, build that trust in your job? Think about how you can now do that with for your job search and think about the same concept. And that's how you start really identifying what will work and what will not work. And I always say to all of my clients, like, treat job searching, if you're job searching, as an experiment, because otherwise you're going to be emotionally too attached to the outcome. So you want to treat it as an experiment. Now, what do I mean by that? When I say treat it as an experiment, it's like you're going to see what works. That's interesting. You're going to be the observer because you're experimenting and observing the results. Okay, that worked. That didn't work. Okay, let's review the results. Why didn't that work? Are you going to be more objective to what all the actions that you take? And it's because you are failing, you are growing. Because people that have success all the time, that doesn't exist. People that succeed within their career, within their life, within anything they do, is because they failed and learned from it, and they didn't give up. And then it's like, okay, going back and forward, back and forward, back and forward. But in the bigger picture, they're growing, and that's what you want to do. Also, you want to create a strategy, whether that is internal or external, where you can grow, where you can observe and see what makes you different, what sets you apart. And then you have to make sure, and that's the last thing that we worked on, then you have to make sure that all the things that we worked on, like creating your unique value proposition, your personal brand, increasing your visibility, both internal and external, we have to make sure that you use the right language. And you can't stress how important this is. I have people in my group that are senior managers, executives, and what we tend to do is when we go into an interview or into a performance review or whatever situation, is we tend to have that part of us that's in their comfort zone. So we will use language that's often too operational or executional. It's like we divert in that. But if you want to get ahead, step up, you need to change that language. You need to think about the impact, commercial outcomes that you have achieved. You need to learn to say no, what you want and what you don't want. So you can't be afraid to not being liked. This is a big one for a lot of people. They want to be liked. And so they say yes, yes, yes all the time. That's why we end up working so bloody hard in our jobs, because we want to be doing a good job. We want to please people. But like, if you want to be a leader, you have to be very clear and in line with your own integrity. And being in line, you have to not, it's not that you have to be a bitch or that you have to be looked at as an ice queen, but you have to be very clear what you stand for. And if something comes your way that doesn't really align with you, you have to have the balls to say no. You have to have the courage to say no. And that's basically what it's a process. It's like learning a new language. It doesn't come natural to most of us, including myself. And you have to draw the line in the sand on when and how to step up. So there's a lot of things here. So I hope some of it resonated with you. If not, definitely go back and look at those pieces again, because there's a lot of information in this live that will help you go to the next level. If you need help and if you say, I'm ready to transform my job search or my career, reach out to me, schedule in a free breakthrough session with me, where we go to your individual situation and we will talk about how and if I can help you move forward and get ahead in your career. So I will pop a link below. Definitely, if you're in that situation, reach out. If we are not connected and you just came randomly across this video, connect with me on LinkedIn. You will be the first person to get noticed whenever I go live. And you also will have access to all the videos. And I'm all about sharing the message, sharing the love, basically, with as many people as I can. So if you know somebody that needs to hear this message, please share this video, because the more people I can reach with my message, the more people I can help and help transform their career. Thank you so much, and I'll see you later. See ya. Bye-bye.